Okay, so for number one, again, if you look at number one, all we need to do is find, based on this congruent statement, find the side that goes along with GD. Okay, and to do that, just look at the position G is in. G is the third letter over here, so I should take the third letter over there. And then look at D. D is the first letter in that triangle, so you should take the first letter in that triangle. And that's it. And then you just have to be careful and not choose the distractor. Okay, you have to, we're comparing sides here, so you have to choose the correct one, which is that side. Okay, I'm going to clear this up. So that's number one. So number one on the test tomorrow, it's going to be like that. It's going to be multiple choice, and you're going to have to match up one side with another side. Find out which sides are congruent. Okay. Number two is not multiple choice. This one is kind of fill in the blank, but it's the same idea. Based on that congruent statement, you wanna find the congruent angle to angle ACT. So again, look at the first letter. That's A. Find it in the triangle. It's the middle letter. So I know I should take the middle letter from that one, which would be O. Okay. And then the next letter in the angle is C. That's the first letter in the triangle. So take the first letter over there, D. And then the only other letter left is G. O, D, G. Okay, and your answer is going to look like this. O, D, G. Either lowercase or uppercase. Okay. Do not put anything else in there or it'll be marked wrong. All you need is 3 letters. And then this one, the first thing we have to do is complete the congruent statement. Now it does have, it's a drop-down menu, so it's kind of like multiple choice. You can click on this down arrow and then some choices come up in here. I suggest you find it first and then choose it. And what I mean by that, if you look at triangle QRS, let's take a look at the Q. That angle has 2 marks. So M is going to match up with that. And then if you look at the R has no marks. So come over here to this triangle and find the angle that has no marks. And then finally, the last one is L. So I know the answer to this first part has to be M, N, L. And it has to be in that order. Okay. M, N, L. It's got to be, make sure you choose the right one. Remember, in the practice worksheet, I said there's a bunch of ways you can write that. Make sure you choose the correct one. And then again, look back at the diagram to figure out how we know those 2 triangles are congruent. It's going to be one of these 5 congruence conjectures, or the shortcuts that we call them, right? One of those 5 shortcuts. And some students are like, well, how do I know which one to choose? Well, the diagram tells us which one to choose. In the diagram, this mark tells me that angle is congruent to that angle. This mark tells me this side is congruent to this side. And finally, this last mark tells me that angle is congruent to that angle. And because both of these have this pattern in there, I know those 2 triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. And that's what you choose down there. Okay. And then the last one, let's go over the last one. The last one, again, you always want to begin with the given statements. Always begin with the given statements and look for them in here. There it is there, and there it is there. Because then I know the reason for those statements being true is given. Just click on this drop-down menu and then choose the given one. Okay? So always start with the given information. And then the next one would be this guy. BD is congruent to DB. Okay. Remember, if you look at the diagram, here's BD and here's DB. Well, guess what? It's the same side. It's the shared side. So if you look at the drop-down menu, there it is. Reflexive property, shared side. Click on that guy. And then you know what? Let me put some of my stuff in my diagram. Let me diagram that. AB is this side and CD is that side. Okay. And then I mentioned earlier, whenever you see this, remember that means AB is parallel to CD. Okay, whenever you see parallel, you should automatically think alternate interior angles, automatically. So I have that, and then they gave me this. Well, those two angles must be, look at the choices, alternate interior angles. Okay. And I'm going to put those on my diagram. Remember when we diagram this, A, B, D, follow the letters. A, B, D. The middle one is where your angle is. And then if you go to the next one, CDB, CDB, the middle letter is where the angle is. So that's what it looks like in the diagram. And once you have it done in the diagram, then you can say, oh, I know these two triangles are congruent by side angle side. That would be the last one. And because you're not given too much stuff to choose from in here, I think you guys can figure this out pretty easily. Based on all the examples we've done and well, just the way the problem is set up. Okay. And